Yesterday on Twitter, I posted this sort of silly thing just to, I don't know, make people scratch their heads. But I've actually thought about this a few times and thought how I don't know, what could you do if you had a component that looked like this? So I'm going to actually build that right now. So we've got just a little app here, and we're going to import this component. And what we would like to be able to do is do something like this: a component, its initial state. Let's go fetch some gists, so we won't have any yet. And then we'll say did mount. We'll get a set state in here. And then when this thing mounts, we want to fetch, probably need a little bit more room. We'll go to api.github.com/gists, and that'll just give us a list of gists. And then we'll get our response, get the JSON out of there. Then we'll get our gists. And then not this set state, just set state. Okay, and then we give it a little render in here, get the state out of it. And we'll say, do we have some gists? If so, let's map over them. Stat, map, gist, list item, description. I'm going to say every single character I'm typing, /li, close. All right. Close our list. Otherwise, let's just say, hey, we're loading. So that's kind of funny looking. I'll save this. And now let's go implement this thing. So we're going to export a component. And this is going to extend React component. We're going to have some state. So our state is going to, let's get a dual screen here so we can see our usage. So state is going to come from initial state. So this.props.initial state. And then we've got that did mount in there. So we can say did mount. Here, well, yeah, we'll leave them both. Nah, this is getting ugly. Too crowded. So did mount. Actually, it's component did mount. Component sid mount. This is Final Fantasy. And so we will say if this.props.didMount, then let's do this.props.didMount. And we're going to pass it. What things do we need to pass it? We need to pass it a set state. And that's all we're using so far. I don't think that I can just pass along set state because it's not going to be bound to this instance. So I'm going to make my own up here. I'm just guessing. I've never actually made this thing before. Well, let's see. Maybe React binds. I really doubt that they do, but let's see what we get. Oh, we need our render. So now we're going to if this.props.render. We'll return this props render. And we need to pass in the state. Otherwise, let's render nothing. Save that. Cannot read prop. Okay, this is because set state is not bound. Of course it's not. But just wanted to make sure. So we'll come in here. We'll get our args. We'll just wrap set state. And we'll pass to those args. Let's call this set state. Okay. Ha! It worked. So I could do this. Let's make another one. I don't know. Let's go get, I've got this little address book API thing that I do all the time. If I could spell address. Oh my goodness. And then this is going to be contacts. Same story here. I'll say contact first, their first name. Save that. And there they are. Let's put some headers above these things. I wanted to capitalize that. Okay, so what about all the rest of the lifecycle hooks? What would this thing look like? It's still cracking me up. There's going to be a ton of arguments coming into these things, so I like having this object so that you can just pluck off whichever piece you need. Like I want set state, or I want the props, or I want the state out of here. And then when we get into things like will receive props, and will update, and should component update, and did mount, all those, you're going to want to be able to pop off the state or the props or whatever and not worry about the order of things. So I'm going to send objects to each one of these, and they're probably going to be the same is my guess. So I'm going to say, I'll just call it get args. Yeah, it's fine with me. So I'm going to get my state and my props off of this. And then I'm going to need a force update as well. Force update doesn't take arguments, but whatever. Oh, I guess it takes a callback. And then what are we going to do? Get args. We're going to return the args for each one of these. So we'll send the state, the props, set state, and force update. Just return that. And now in did mount here, I can say this dot get args. And then I'll just get this whole bag of stuff. And so I'm going to need component. Let's do a will mount. Then we have if will mount, then let's do it. Then let's do a component will receive props. Look at the next props in here and the next state in here. So we'll return, yeah, there is no return value. There should be, but there isn't. Anyway, if will receive props, then let's do this dot, and so we're going to do this dot get args, but I'm also going to want to send in these two things. So I will come in here and do dot 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 this dot args, next props, next state. So now we can just pluck those off. So that's going to be really similar for component will update. And that's going to be really similar to should component update. So we'll call this one should update. Some of you have checked out by now. And did update. Oh, with this one we need to return. Yeah. Otherwise, what do we want to do? Return true. Yes, we should always update if they didn't provide a should update. And then finally, component did update. I'm just going to copy this one again, change a couple names. And this is going to be previous props and previous state. And did update. All right. And I guess we'll do get args here too. Set state is not defined. Line 12, huh? Oh. Duh. And All right. That's it. Now we could do did update. We could do should update. Let's just never update this one. Now just we'll never get out of a loading state. It works. So, I mean, really, you don't have to ever create another component class or function ever again, unless you want to reuse it. But this is a really funny concept that you could just, you just got to do something really quick. Maybe you're not quite sure where your abstractions are going to be or what the UI is going to look like, but you need some life cycles. You could use this, I guess, just to inline some junk while you're working. I think I might actually use this.